Nothing like losing stud wide receivers as you head into your fantasy playoffs. But don't worry, Santa Jake's got something to give away. What is going on, Headliner Nation? Hopefully everyone's doing well out there. Today we go through our quick and dirty top 30 wide receivers for Week 15 fantasy football, and a lot of things have changed here over the last 24 to 48 hours, right? We now know that Keenan Allen will not play on Thursday Night Football. However, it did just come out that Davante Adams will play. But like I said in the intro, I have something to give away today to ease the pain for all those teams who don't have Keenan Allen in their lineups here in Week 15. I found it only fitting to give away a signed Keenan Allen jersey, right? If he can't be in our rankings, at least he can be here in spirit with his signed jersey, right? I mean, I'm trying to ease the pain a little bit. Do you want to win this signed jersey? Because sure, you may be mad at the guy for not playing this week, but you probably wouldn't even be there in the first place if it wasn't for him. But how do you get in on this giveaway? It's super simple. Hit the like button, leave a comment down below, let me know that you're interested, and then have your free account signed up at pristineauction.com. It costs you absolutely nothing to do. However, if you search through their site here and you do it quickly, you're probably going to find some Christmas gifts that you can just knock off here super quick. The site is absolutely loaded for any type of collector out there. And remember, we're doing a bonus giveaway up until Christmas. Anyone who emails me at info@thefantasyheadliners.com with a screenshot of the item they want and how much they got it for, you're entered into a separate giveaway. And how fitting is it that the separate giveaway is another Chargers item, because I'm giving away the signed Justin Herbert Funko Pop, who also is now done for the year. But hey, a lot of people out there wanting some signed Justin Herbert because my email has been blowing up. So be sure to send those screenshots to info@thefantasyheadliners.com. I want to see what you guys are winning and how much you're getting it for. And then I'll pick one of those random emails to win the signed Herbert Funko. All right, let's go ahead and dive into some rankings, though. We're going to kick it off here. Number one, would love for it to be Tyreek Hill, but with the injury, we're going AJ Brown. And really, this is based on a couple things. It's a great matchup going up against Seattle, a must-win game for Philadelphia, and primetime football Monday night. I got A.J. Brown right here at number one. Number two, it's CeeDee Lamb. He continues his hot streak. They're going to be going to Buffalo to face the Bills. Must-win games for both teams. But it's a little bit easier to throw on Buffalo than it is to run on Buffalo, so we're keeping CeeDee Lamb at number two. Number three, this is where I have Tyreek Hill. Yes, it's due to injury concerns and matchup. The Jets allow some of the fewest fantasy points per game to opposing wide receivers, but Hill just put up a big number against them a couple weeks ago. I want to see how healthy this guy is. He came back from a high ankle sprain after like a quarter and a half. As long as he's a full go, though, there ain't nobody sitting Tyreek Hill, so for right now, I still got him at number three. Number four, it's Puka. The highest I've had Puka in quite some time, but look who they're playing. It's a matchup against one of the worst defenses in football, the Washington Commandos, and this offense in LA has been clicking through the air. I got Puka all the way up to number four. Number five, it's Deebo Samuel. Another great matchup going up against the Arizona Cardinals. Sure, the big play guy down the field is going to typically be Brandon Ayuk, and he's definitely somebody who should be started every week as well. But San Francisco, as of late, has made a conscious effort to get Deebo going, so he's all the way up to number five in a great matchup. Number six, it's Michael Pittman, Indianapolis Colts. One of the most consistent fantasy wide receivers on the season, has a matchup at home going up against Pittsburgh, a Pittsburgh defense that gave up 21 points in the first half to Bailey Zappi. I got Pittman all the way up at six. Number seven, it's Amon-Ra St. Brown in a matchup going up against Denver. Now, earlier in the season, we see a Denver matchup in the fantasy playoffs, and we were excited. Now, how the tides have turned, because this is not some easy cream puff matchup. Amon-Ra coming off his worst game of the season, but they're looking to bounce back at home in Detroit, so I got him at seven. Number eight, it's DK Metcalf, the big playmaker in Seattle in a matchup going up against Philadelphia. No other team in the NFL allows more fantasy points per game to opposing wide receivers than the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm looking for some big plays from DK, got him at eight. Number nine, it's Ja'Marr Chase, Cincinnati Bengals in a matchup going up against the Minnesota Vikings. The head-to-head matchup against him and Justin Jefferson. Now, since we've lost Joe Burrow, we've continued to see Ja'Marr Chase lead this team in targets in a game in which they have to win. I got him at number nine. Number 10 is Stephon Diggs. Dude is struggling here as of late, and this matchup doesn't get any easier going up against Dallas. Over the last month of the season, Stephon Diggs struggling to put together back-to-back games more than 5 fantasy points, so he's down all the way to number 10. Number 11, this is where I have Justin Jefferson in that matchup going up against Cincinnati. Obviously, if he's healthy, you're starting him. He's in your fantasy football lineups. But coming off yet another injury where he took a huge hit back in week 14, and now he has Nick Mullins as a quarterback, I got him at number 11. Number 12, it's Cooper Kupp in that matchup going up against Washington. It's been a long time since we could put both Rams wide receivers up inside the top 12. This is the matchup matchup to do it again, so I got Cooper Kupp at number 12. 13 is Brandon Ayuk. San Francisco 49ers in that matchup going up against Arizona continues to be safe and reliable. 14, Mike Evans coming off a bad game traveling to Green Bay to face the Packers. Evans' ceiling, though, is almost matchup winning, and you can never afford to sit this guy. Plus, like the majority of the season, Jair Alexander is still questionable to play, so I got Mike Evans at 14. 15, this is where I put Davante Adams. It has come out that he is going to play here on Thursday Night Football against the Los Angeles Chargers, which is a great matchup. But the guy's been putting up single-digit fantasy points all year long. Now he's recovering from an illness. I still got him at 15. 16, it's Courtland Sutton of the Denver Broncos in that matchup going up against Detroit. Way easier to throw on Detroit than run on Detroit, and Courtland Sutton is basically a touchdown machine. He's had touchdowns in all but like 3 games this season. Absolutely crazy. Got him at 16. 17, it's DJ Moore. Would love to have him higher. Ever since Justin Fields has come back from injury, those 3 weeks, DJ Moore is a top 12 wide receiver in fantasy football, but the matchup against Cleveland, we're tempering expectations slightly, plus DJ Moore a little bit banged up, so got him at 17. 18 is Devontae Smith. We saw Dallas dare come back last week, and we really thought it was going to hurt the volume of Devontae Smith. He still saw double-digit targets, he still found the end zone, and now we still get a great matchup going up against Seattle in a game that Philly has to win. I got Devontae Smith still inside my top 20 at 18. 19 then is Chris Olave, New Orleans Saints in a matchup going up against the Giants. Not a bad matchup, but what's bad here is we continue to trot out banged up and injured Derek Carr. Dude playing with like half a shoulder right now, and it's really limiting the upside of Chris Olave. He's barely hanging on, scoring 10 points a week. That's why I got him down to 19. 20, it's DeAndre Hopkins. We had a D-Hop sighting in week 14, and we're starting to see Will Levis play with more confidence. In a matchup going up against Houston, who's going to be without a lot of their top playmakers, I got D-Hop at 20. 21 is Jalen Waddle in that matchup going up against the Jets. Now, if I really thought that Tyreek Hill was going to miss this game, I would put Jalen Waddle probably a few spots higher. But for whatever reason in this Miami Dolphins offense, when they don't go towards Tyreek Hill, they don't overload Jalen Waddle. They start looking the way of Cedric Wilson, which is absolutely mind-boggling to think about, but Jalen Waddle's going to stay right here at 21. 22, it's Rashee Rice. The number 1 wide receiver in the Kansas City offense now has 3 straight weeks of over 9 targets. When you get 9+ targets a week in a Patrick Mahomes-led offense, you start that wide receiver and you lock him into your top 24. That's why he's number 22. 23, it's Jaden Reed. He's getting work through the air. He's getting work on the ground, and he continues to find touchdowns in a matchup going up against Tampa Bay, who allows points in bunches to opposing wide receivers. I got Jaden Reed at 23. 24, Garrett Wilson. Whenever Zach Wilson is under center, you better believe Garrett Wilson getting himself 12+ targets in a matchup going up against Miami. I got him at 24. 25, it's Zay Flowers, Baltimore Ravens, a great matchup for him going up against the Jacksonville Jaguars. We've now seen back-to-back big games from Zay Flowers, and that connection between him and Lamar Jackson is starting to pick up once again here end of season, so I got him at 25. 26 is Tyler Lockett, Seattle Seahawks. Yes, he's been hit and miss, but when you have a matchup going up against Philadelphia, who allows as many points as they do, Tyler Lockett needs to be inside the top 30 at number 26. Number 27, it's Amari Cooper of the Cleveland Browns going up against the Chicago Bears, whose defense is playing freaking great here the last month of the season. But Amari Cooper is going to lead that team in targets, and all of a sudden, Joe Flacco is playing like a top-tier quarterback in the NFL, so Amari Cooper's at 27. 28, it's Odell Beckham Jr. coming off his best game of the season in a great matchup going up against a Swiss cheese secondary in Jacksonville. He's at 28. 29, that's where I put Calvin Ridley of the Jacksonville Jaguars. A very difficult matchup going up against Baltimore. However, we saw Matthew Stafford put work in against Baltimore, so it's not impossible. Looking for Calvin Ridley to at least give a safer floor play, a flex option in week 15. Got him at 29. And then 30, it's Drake London. Not the easiest of matchups, but if they just give this kid volume, he will put up fantasy numbers. I really compare him to the likes of Michael Pittman. If Drake London's getting 10+ targets a week, he's up inside the top 15. The problem is, Arthur Smith won't commit more volume to him each and every week, and they don't force it to him in this offense, so he's sitting right here at number 30. But just like I always do, I have a few guys on the outside looking into my quick and dirty top 30, but when you look at wide receiver 25 on, there's arguments to be made for any one of these guys to fit in those slots. In a week with no bye weeks, there are so many available wide receivers that have an opportunity to put up some big numbers. But right here at the top of the list is a name that a lot of people are asking about. Everybody assumes now that Keenan Allen is out, Josh Palmer has to be a must start here in week 15, and I really don't see it that way. It's a difficult matchup going up against Las Vegas. We don't have Justin Herbert. We have Easton Stick making his first ever NFL start, and then on top of all of that, we have Josh Palmer coming back in his first game off of injury. There's a lot of things going against Josh Palmer this week that really can't make him a must start. If you want to take a risk and throw him in your flex, I can see the argument. What about T. Higgins? He's underperformed most of the year. With Jake Browning under center, we know the bulk of the volume is going to go the way of Jamar Chase, but T. Higgins showed last week that he still has that big play opportunity in this offense. Terry McLaurin, coming off the bye week. In his game before the bye, he did his post-game presser, and he basically said, I was just out there running cardio, because the dude had 0 catches. But you have to expect they're going to be losing to the Los Angeles Rams and once again having to throw in Washington. How about Romeo Doubs? A great matchup going up against Tampa Bay. One of my favorite matchups to exploit each and every week. But the problem is Romeo Doubs' target share continues to drop week after week. Now, if they're without Dontavian Wicks this week, I could see a few more targets going the way of Romeo Doubs. How about Jackson Smith and Jigba? That great matchup going up against Philadelphia. Would not surprise me if he found the end zone this week. Jacoby Myers. We know Devontae Adams will not be 100%, but this is a great matchup going up against the Chargers. Really hard to trust Jacoby Myers in this passing offense, though, because Las Vegas, they just can't figure it out. How about Deontay Johnson? Really only due to volume here because the Pittsburgh passing offense is almost just as bad as Las Vegas. Adam Thielen, the guy tried to bounce back a little bit here last week, but the offense in Carolina just doesn't score touchdowns. Then we got Brandon Cooks, a guy who's very touchdown dependent, because for the most part, he's only seeing right around 5 targets a week, and if he doesn't score, he's somewhat boom or bust. And then I had to throw this name at the bottom of the list because I know a lot of people are going to be asking. It's Noah Brown. And I remember the big games middle of the season. I also know that Nico Collins may not play. I also know we have no Tank Dell. I also know that CJ Stroud questionable with a concussion. Noah Brown has crazy upside, but he also has stupid floor. Back-to-back games with 0 fantasy points could absolutely tank you if it happens again in week 15. Basically, starting Noah Brown this week is the equivalent to starting Gabe Davis any week. You never know what you're going to get. It's going to be 0 or it's going to be 25 and probably nothing in between. But that's going to go ahead and wrap up my quick and dirty top 30 wide receivers here for week 15 fantasy football. Hopefully you're able to get your lineup set now and absolutely go and dominate through the fantasy football playoffs. Remember to hit that like button and leave that comment down below so I can pick a winner for the signed Keenan Allen jersey here in this video next week. But I'm going to go ahead and get out of here for the day. Hopefully you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Good luck this weekend, and then most importantly, do your part to make the world a better place.